in a world in which everybody's always like, you got to de-stress and how to take a break and how to relax. We just so often don't. We just go from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And we're up late, like doom scrolling. And we sort of trick ourselves into feeling like, oh yeah, that's restful. That's me recovering. That's my recuperation time. It's not. I don't mind zone out time. I'm a big fan of zoning out myself. It's relaxing in that it is a little numbing. It allows you to dissociate a little bit. So you're not so much thinking. You're just absorbing. But it is not, in fact, energizing. You can tell that you're in a loving relationship because you feel loved. And you can tell that you are on vacation because you feel rested. So if you're taking breaks or you're on vacation with your family or you're, going off for the weekend to do one thing or another and you don't feel rested, you don't feel excited when you think about it, it's not giving that pre-anticipation vibe, which is a big part of going on vacation, then it's not a vacation. It might still be important. It might still be something you want to do, but let's be clear, it is not a restorative time for you. And that's really what vacation is all about. It's about taking you out of your normal routine and putting you into a new environment, allowing you to explore new parts of yourself, maybe taking away some of the day-to-day drudgery, like you're at a hotel, you don't have to make the bed. You can get 25 extra Hilton points if you don't get the housekeeping. I'm like, the entire point of me being here is the housekeeping. Thank you very much. The whole reason I'm here is so that I don't have to make the bed in the morning. What is it that makes a vacation for you? What are the non-negotiables you need to get out of your regular routine, experience yourself in a new way, recharge, restore, refresh, revise, revisit your own self? And that whole we go to the family cabin every weekend. That's not vacation. Not if you're the parent. It's not. It might still be fun. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, let's be clear, that's not a vacation. What from you makes it a vacation? And how can we fold that in to maybe your everyday? Oh, one of the things I love about being on vacation is, that somebody brings me coffee in the morning. Well, that's not impossible to arrange, is it? That maybe somebody in your house could bring you coffee in the morning. Or if you live alone, you could get one of those coffee makers that you set up the night before, so then it's just ready for you. Or maybe you feel like, oh, I love being on vacation because I love to be outside. Well, could you fold in a little outside time into your regular time? Could you make it a habit of eating lunch outside or going for a walk in the middle of the day? What is it? Is it time with friends? What is the thing that really lights you up when you are legitimately having a break and a vacation? And what is it that doesn't? And I know there's a lot of you who are not with us, who are on vacation right now. We'll be watching this later or watching the replay, but go ahead and write it down for yourself. I love to make the 90-second doodles of what does it look like to not be on vacation? What are you experiencing now that feels oppressive, scrunchy, like I've got to watch every penny, stingy with yourself, stingy with your own resources? John says it's about breaking the daily habits that do not serve me anymore. Right. Again, a fantastic daily inquiry. What am I doing that's kind of on autopilot that maybe isn't giving me the results that I want, that isn't moving me forward? Heather said just generally adulting makes her feel like that. Yeah, I get it. And again, you can farm out the adulting. There's a lot of things that you're doing day to day that you don't have to do. And I know you think oh, I can't afford a housekeeper. I can't afford someone to run my errands for me, go pick up the dry cleaning or run to the grocery. Yeah, but how much is it costing you to do it? And I learned this from having long haul COVID for the last 2 years. I can go to the grocery store, but that's it for the day. So the choice I make is it more worth it to me to pay a little extra to have Instacart get my groceries for me, or to impose on someone like my sister or a friend or somebody else to say, hey, could you do this for me? Then it is for me to do it myself and get completely worn out. Where's the cost benefit analysis there? It's not just about the money. It's about how you're feeling. What are the joys for you of going on retreat? Amy and I are still filling out we've got a couple of chaise lounges left for Barefoot Perfect, which is our retreat in Majorca this year for women at midlife and beyond. We're not kids anymore. And we're not really sure what's next. What do you want the next chapter of your life to look like? And sometimes that can be hard to discern while you are still in the day-to-day of your actual life. Amy and I figured out this Barefoot Perfect retreat thing. 2 years in a row, we did it in Belize, which was glorious. Last year, we went to Crete. And this year, we're going to Majorca, which is one of the islands off the eastern coast of Spain. You might know its sister island, Ibiza. As I'm talking about what happens in Barefoot Perfect, I want you to start making notes about what could I be doing? What little clues could I pick from this? What little nuggets of gold could I go, you know what? I may not be able to go to Majorca, but I can do that. I want you to find the things in your day-to-day that make you feel rested, that make you feel recharged, that makes you feel like you're loving life. A couple of things we do for Barefoot Perfect. It's a 6-month coaching program. So we've got 3 months of sessions ahead of time to sort of get revved up, let everybody get to know each other. And there's all kinds of studies that show that one of the major benefits of going on vacation is the anticipation of going on vacation. The planning, the packing, the imagining, the researching. Oh, should we go to this restaurant or that one? Oh, look, I found this place, or oh, I want to make sure we go here. Like all that anticipatory enjoyment is a huge part of what makes vacations vacations. Are you giving yourself enough planning time? Are you enjoying the anticipation rather than feeling like, oh, I've got to research where we can go for dinner on Thursday? And then we go to the Mediterranean for a week, and we get everybody rooms on the VIP level. So we have our own pool, we have our own bar, we have, it's a little exclusive, it's a little fancy. And I find that paying for those kinds of upgrades on a vacation, when you can, obviously, if you're on the rice and beans tour, then you're not going to. Nothing against rice and beans. I love rice and beans. And I've certainly done super cheap trips that were the best ever. So I'm not saying you have to spend a lot of money. However, when you are confronted with the opportunity to spend a little bit more, it can really be worth it. Was so disdainful about flying first class. I was like, first class. That's really what I thought of it as. Like, really? Who's so fancy that they have to sit in the front of the plane instead of the middle of the plane? Like, we're all going to the same place. Why would you pay $1 grillion more for first class? And then I started flying first class. And you know what? It's way better. It's partly way better because, again, because I have long haul, things like standing up for a long time, standing in line for a long time, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Being able to board early, have a seat with a little more room to it, all that can really make a difference to me. And especially now that they stopped serving food and things on airplanes, by the time you factor in the cost of the checked luggage, the cost of the sandwich, the cost of the cocktail, because I'm definitely having a cocktail, it's honestly not that much more expensive to do first class. When I do the math, you make your own decisions. So what are the things that you really make it extra special for you? And again, what are things you can be doing in your day-to-day life that feel like those kind of luxurious little add-ons that can give you a little sense of like, oh, special, oh, nice, oh, that's a treat, and not like I'm desperate for a treat, therefore I must have a candy bar. I'm not talking about craving related treats. We could talk about that another time. I'm really talking about what are the restorative things you can say or do or feel or pay for or enact in your day-to-day life, at your job, at your home, over your own weekends, that just feel a little more delicious. And especially for those of you who are highly creative people, it's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about creative work is that it actually gives you energy. Most work we do, when we do it, it depletes our energy. And that's okay. You're tired at the end of the day, no matter what, right? When you are working in your zone of creative genius, and notice I don't say artistic genius. I'm not talking about being an artist. I'm talking about being creative. So that's problem solving, that's learning, that's playing, that's games, that's research, that's teaching your lizard to do backflips, like whatever it is that really lights you up, where you're like, oh, I get to do that today. Make sure you're doing that at least 15 minutes a day, 15-minute method. And now I wish I titled it The Subversively Simple Art of Getting It Done. Because I got to tell you, spending 15 minutes a day, something that lights you up, is subversive. It's subversive in its simplicity, and it's subversive in its power to transform your whole day. So this idea you have in your head of like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it when the kids are out of the house. I'll do it when we have the money. I'll do it when I lose 20 pounds. That's a way of telling yourself no. So just be honest with yourself about that, because there is no other time. John says, while it might seem tough, embracing the mindset that we can bounce back with boundless energy is both restorative and a bit hilarious. Yeah, it's shocking how much a quick 15-minute jolt of walking, breathing, stretching, singing, dancing, ukulele playing, time with animals, whatever it is that you love to do, it's amazing how much what that 15 minutes can do for you. And again, we're looking for points of leverage. So many things we do in our lives, we put out a ton and we get back very little. I want you to spend at least 15 minutes a day on something in which you can put out very little, but get back a ton. So 15 minutes of connecting with people you love, 15 minutes of getting your finances in order, 15 minutes of meal planning, 15 minutes of, like I said, deep breathing, going into the garden, getting some sunshine. Where can we have it so it's not our life drudgery, 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 oh, vacation, 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 and then it's over and we're back to drudgery? How can we keep that vacation vibe, by which I mean restorative, hopeful, restful, and giving you a new experience of yourself, right? That's the great thing about being on vacation is, oh, I'm not necessarily me. It's one of the things we do on Barefoot Perfect. Every one of these retreats, we have a desert island day. So we take these women at midlife and beyond who are wondering what the next chapter of their life is going to be. We take them to a desert island or a deserted beach, and we say, okay, go sit somewhere where you will not see anybody else, where you can't see anybody else. And first of all, just sit there. Take in the breeze, take in the ocean, take in the smell of the salt water in the air. And what do the waves have to say to you? What does the sand have to say to you? What do the trees have to say to you? Who is this person? Who is this person on this beach? Who are you when literally no one knows where you are? When you are not anybody's mom, friend, sister, colleague, boss. No one is calling you. No one needs you. No one knows where you are. Who is that person? And what do they want for the rest of their days? Or at least for this next chapter? Who do you want to be as you move into this next chapter of your life? And taking the time to get intentional about that and to get witnessed in that, and then to make a plan for how to actually do that, and then get some support for the plan. This is how Barefoot Perfect works. We've got the 3 sessions of getting to know each other, anticipation, a week in the Mediterranean, to dream, to implement, to process, to be together, to have fun. And then 3 months of reentry, 3 months of post-trip coaching and support, because, you need a plan. We all know how it is, when you're far away and you're not at home, you're like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to do this and do that, and do this other thing. And then you get home and you're like, oh, that's right. My life is here. This is my life. Right. And we get oppressed by habit. We get oppressed by things and other people, and we don't make those changes. So you need, again, to be witnessed. You need other people around you. You need people who are going to encourage you and remind you to say, hey, remember you committed to this. Remember, we're working on this to be the next chapter, and we're not going to let ourselves get dragged back down into routine. We're going to keep breaking that routine to find new sources of joy, new sources of energy, new sources of inspiration. John says, my dream, being on a desert island with only beautiful women who are discovering themselves. It is pretty extraordinary, John, I have to say. If you were a woman, I would totally invite you onto this. It's a beautiful experience to be with these women as they have these breakthroughs. It's pretty exciting. So if this is speaking to you on any level, please go to barefootperfect.com, and you can just see the pictures and see the copy and see what's happening. And then if you're really inspired, you could go ahead and fill out the application, which is totally no obligation. There's a little space to check if you're like, no, I'm just dreaming. I can't really come. I'm just dreaming. That's fine, because the application actually asks you some questions that you might find kind of inspiring. That might be a good way to have a little 15-minute break for yourself today. So how can you enrich and restore yourself? How can you make something fun for yourself? Can you turn your morning orange juice into a little blender drink? Put an umbrella in it. Can you give yourself something to look forward to in a way that, again, doesn't feel like numbing out, but just feels expansive? Like I said, if you're feeling it, hop over to www.barefootperfect.com and fill out that application, because we've only got a couple of chaise lounges left, people. There's no obligation. If you're taking it seriously and you really do want to come, then we'll have a conversation about it, because it's a curated group. We don't let anybody just buy a ticket. You have to talk to me or to Amy to join. And if you're not going to do that, then what are you going to do? June says, watching clouds. Yeah. Just a little cloud gazing, bring you back to center, light you up. I'm so glad you were here. I really appreciate it that you take this time to be with me. And again, let's crack it open a little, crack it open like a coconut. Like what's stuck for you that we can just unstick? Where do you feel deprived and tired and beaten up? Where we can have you feel inspired and cherished. And remember, these aren't feelings that other people give you. They're feelings that you give you. Are you appreciating and cherishing yourself in a way that sends the message to your inner self? I value you. I love you. Your work is important. Who you are is important. We want you at your best, not because it's a race or because you're getting graded, but because when you're at your best, you give more to others. We're selfish like that. We want all of you. We want the best of you. So see if you can take 15 minutes a day to just restore yourself a little bit. Should we do one more round of breathing? Close out this little vacation circle. You ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you for doing this with me.